Santa Claus can't possibly be real. There's no way an oversized old man sneaks into our home on Christmas Eve. We don't even have a chimney. Such were the hard words of 10-year-old Alexei when his mom and I recently mentioned Christmas. Halfway through my awkward attempt at a reply, Alexei interrupted with an even deadlier blow. He said, "Santa Claus is a fiction made up by parents to control their children." Whoa there, Karl Marx, I thought, but of course didn't say it out loud. Our conversation conveniently got interrupted. Alexei walked away feeling initiated into the dull realities of life. A bittersweet victory indeed. I walked away feeling I had failed to point to what lies beyond life's dull realities. But I was not ready to capitulate. This video is my public reply to Alexei's central thesis. That is, and forgive me for quoting it in full, that Santa Claus isn't real. Santa Claus doesn't exist. Now, it's beyond me to address this ontological claim on my own. So, I went searching through the writings of great minds, east and west, for wisdom that may save Alexei's Christmas. I found what I was looking for in the teachings of two of the world's greatest psychologists, Carl Jung and Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha. I knew from the start Alexei's thesis does not hinge on the specifics of Santa Claus. Anyone can look up the St. Nicholas origin story and the Coca-Cola commercialization of Santa. These are all surface details. The question of Santa Claus's reality hinges on something much more fundamental. That is, the nature of what we call reality and existence. So, join me on this ontological quest to save Santa and help Alexei rediscover the magic of Christmas. I present to you my defense of the reality of Santa Claus. It may seem odd that Jung, a psychologist, should have anything to say about the nature of reality. Isn't psychology concerned with what goes on inside our heads? How can this have anything to do with the real world outside? Well, it is this very distinction between the world outside and what is in our heads that Jung rejects. He writes, "Reality contains everything I can know, for everything that acts upon me is real and actual. If it does not act upon me, then I notice nothing and can therefore know nothing about it." Jung rejects hard-line distinctions between real and unreal, fact and fiction, true and imagined. He rather sees all phenomena that appear in the psyche as equally actual. It is only things that do not appear and hence do not act upon my psyche that are not actual for me. This seemingly trivial point can change our entire experience of reality should we pause to consider it. Have you ever felt moved by a story, dream, or song? Has a book, movie, or belief ever changed how you see the world? If so, these things were actual for you, even if you couldn't touch them. Here, Alexei will retort, "I get where you're going with this. You're going to say Santa is actual because he makes kids behave before Christmas. But this doesn't make him any different from a lie kids are made to believe in. I don't care about actual lies. I care about real things you can see and touch, and Santa Claus is not that." Alexei's got a point here. What is the difference, after all, between something the senses can't verify and a lie? Let me respond with another quotation from Jung. "Consciousness has no direct relation to any material objects. We perceive nothing but images transmitted to us indirectly by a complicated nervous apparatus. Between the nerve endings of the sense organs and the image that appears in consciousness, there is interpolated an unconscious process which transforms the physical fact of light, for example, into the psychic image, light. What appears to us as immediate reality consists of carefully processed images. We live immediately only in a world of images. Far, therefore, from being a material world, this is a psychic world. The psychic alone has immediate reality, and this includes all forms of the psychic, even unreal ideas and thoughts which refer to nothing external. In short, there is no experience we can have that is not conditioned by the structure of our human body-mind. Even raw sense perception, even you're seeing this image of Santa on screen now, is the construct of countless unconscious algorithms operating in the psychophysical system that is you. Distinctions such as physical and psychological, external and internal, fact and fiction are only valid as conventions. In truth, these are all equally actual in our experience of reality, and the degree to which a phenomenon appears to the senses does not always correspond to the degree to which it acts upon us. For example, if somebody throws a stone at you, your physical experience will be intense, and it may take you weeks to recover from the injury. But if, on the other hand, the wrong person tells you the wrong words at the wrong time, you may be crippled for a lifetime. Words and their meaning are entirely non-physical, and yet they can act on people more powerfully than any physical experience. The tongue is indeed mightier than the sword. So think of a kid who spends weeks anticipating Santa's arrival. She writes him a letter, decorates the Christmas tree, and leaves behind treats for him. Can we deny Santa's actuality for her? What's more, Santa influences not only her behavior, but also that of her family, her city, her entire culture even. How actual is that? But Alexei will not be swayed so quickly. He will say, "So, the monster under my bed is just my imagination, but Santa is real because we believe in him. That's a double standard." Now I'm in a tight spot. If I submit to a materialistic view of existence, I will rid Alexei of the monster under his bed, but I will also dull his senses to the subtler dimensions of reality. If, on the other hand, I propose a more inclusive view, every horror Alexei imagines in the dark will gain substance. What should I do? Well, let's go to another one of my great teachers, who is particularly good at finding the middle way between opposites: the Buddha. The Buddha says, "For one who sees the origin of the world as it really is, with correct wisdom, there is no notion of non-existence in regard to the world. And for one who sees the cessation of the world as it really is, with correct wisdom, there is no notion of existence in regard to the world." Like how Jung rejects the real-unreal dichotomy, the Buddha rejects the distinction between existence and non-existence. Rather, whatever we say exists is really the temporary result of causes and conditions. Whatever we say does not exist is simply the missing result of missing causes and conditions. When we look around, we see people, dogs, trees, the sky, but these are all low-resolution snapshots of reality. Our distracted minds cannot perceive the world at higher fidelity. Should you train the mind, the Buddha says, you see what you thought were different phenomena is really one interconnected flow of causes and conditions. Great, Alexei will say, more complicated philosophy words. What has this got to do with Santa Claus? Well, Santa is what the Buddha would call a dependently arisen entity. The stories about Saint Nicholas, Moore's poem, Nast's illustration, Coca-Cola's marketing, and our celebration of Christmas are all causes and conditions for the arising of Santa Claus. We cannot say Santa does not exist. Aha, says Alexei, so he isn't real after all. He's just a made-up character we pretend is real. There, you said it. But no, the Buddha's point is that everything in life is a dependently arisen phenomenon, including, and most importantly, ourselves. The existence of Simeon, of Barney the dog, and even of Alexei are all temporary phases of the causal continuum. This continuum is the chain of causes and conditions that connects all of space-time. Our own existence is just as dependent on causes and conditions as Santa's, only the causes and conditions that produce him are different to those that produce us, and so his existence is qualitatively different, but the same in essence. Just like steam and ice are both made of H2O molecules, so too Santa and Barney are both made of causes and conditions, even if you can only touch one and not the other. Okay, Alexei says, with a hint of existential dread in his voice. But what about the monster under my bed? Does the Buddha say it too is as real as Barney? Well, as long as you believe in and fear that monster, it is actual for you, as Jung says. The Buddha would say the monster acts as a cause and condition for how you feel, what you think, and how you act. In this sense, we cannot say it does not exist. However, the Buddha would point out the activity of your own mind is the main cause and condition for the arising of the monster. The reason why your mom and I don't see the monster is that our minds do not generate it. Hence, it is not actual for us. We cannot say it exists. So, should you train the mind to not generate monsters in the dark, you will remove the main cause and condition for these monsters arising. As the Buddha says, when this does not exist, that does not come to be. With the cessation of this, that ceases. So, both the monster and Santa arise due to causes and conditions in our minds. Here Alexei will ask, why should we train the mind to not believe in monsters but encourage it to believe in Santa? Why have these double standards? Well, here I must drop all intellectualizing and give my human, all too human reply. We encourage our minds to generate Santa because this makes us happy. By rekindling the Christmas spirit in ourselves each year, we feed the causal process that sustains Santa. In turn, Santa becomes actual for us and helps us let go of our daily strivings and enjoy time with our loved ones. By honoring Santa, we allow what he embodies to enter into our lived experience and gain actuality. And what he embodies are things like generosity, joy, connection, and love. Yes, the Buddha could say here that even Santa must be let go of for the minds to perceive the true emptiness of the world. But I don't think he would say this. I imagine he would be wearing a red hat, in fact. Each insight on the path of wisdom must come at its proper time and not a moment sooner. The Buddha always paced his teachings according to his audience. So, ho 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 everyone, and have a Merry Christmas this year. I will update you with Alexei's reaction to this video in the comments. I'm also curious how you'd answer him, so comment and let me know. If you want to make me a Christmas gift, consider subscribing to the Wisdom Wednesdays newsletter. I've linked it in the description. As always, I thank my members and patrons for their support, and also all who like, share, and comment on these videos. You allow me to continue this work. May we all have a joyful Christmas, and remember, what you seek is seeking you. See you next time.